Good afternoon. I'll call this General Services Public Works Committee meeting to order. Today we have Council Member Christy Wood and myself, Amy Evans. It's April 11th at noon in the Library Community Room. We have 3 items on the agenda today, and the first one is a request for approval of a personnel rule update to the classification compensation plan in regard to the department specialist classification. And with us, we have Melissa Tosi, our Human Resources Department Director.
Thank you, and good afternoon. So this position is fairly straightforward. We have currently 1 department specialist in the city of Coeur d'Alene, and the employee falls within the Municipal Services Department. The department specialist currently that sits in the lower floor of City Hall, she really is responsible for all the in and out traffic, greeting people, obviously answering phones and getting people to where they need to go. So within that day, provide some opportunity to give her some additional duties, which the Municipal Services Director would like to add to her job description. So we have a proposed amendment to that job description, just basically adding some duties that she can really help with that department out with. Adding duties including doing letters related to city council contracts and agreements. The Municipal Services Director, after a city council meeting, some of the agreements and contracts that have been approved, this position has been helping create some of the letters that go to the individuals to help track the documents that are needed for the contract to bring back to the city of Coeur d'Alene, just some of those correspondence going back and forth. She's been doing a monthly newsletter. She's helping create some of the PowerPoint slide decks and including the information out the front that you see on the TV. She has been helping with some of the social media, Facebook and Twitter, and then she just kind of becomes a helpful source for a lot of different departments if she has time. So those are some of the added duties, and our Municipal Services Director is here if you have any questions for her on any of those. So based on adding some of those duties to her position, it is recommended that the position is increased 1 pay grade, so from a pay grade 5 to a pay grade 6. The 6% increase for the remaining part of this fiscal year is just over $1,000, and the director has enough savings in her overall budget to cover that cost, and then we would have to amend that in the current budget. And so providing the updating leveling for the duties and responsibilities really would provide a position that's more helpful for the Municipal Services Department. Happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you, Melissa. Any questions?
Thank you. Oh, just a statement. I think this is anytime you can do this kind of upgrade and cross-training and utilize employees in other ways, I think that's a great thing. Appreciate that you found the upgrade expense in the current budget. Appreciate that very much. And with that, Madam Chair, I'd make a motion to recommend that Council approve the personnel rule update to the classification compensation plan in regard to the department specialist classification.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And item number 2 is a request for approval of the sick leave bank policy update. And Melissa is with us again.
Thank you. So I provided the entire policy amendment that I know starts to look a little overwhelming with all the cross-outs and track changes. So I also provided just a summary of what those changes are. And really, the majority of the changes are housekeeping changes. And so I just prepared a quick little PowerPoint to go through some of the more meaningful changes. And if you have questions on anything that's in the policy, just let me know if I don't touch on it. So the history of the sick leave bank, it was actually approved by council back in 1992, and it has had no updates since then. So I'm not sure why this is automatically moving. So the purpose of the policy is for the members that are part of it, if you are to exhaust all of your own personal leave balances, if you're a member of the sick leave bank, based on being approved by the committee. That committee holds hours that could then be transferred over to the employee to get them through whatever the situation that they're dealing with is. So as far as membership goes, you can become a member as a new employee, and that's the first 60 days, which in your packet it says first 30 days, which is a majority of our benefits, but I caught that as an error. And you can enroll as a new employee your first 60 days. And then we also have an open enrollment period June of each year. So if you happen to pass it, even if you're a 10-year employee, if you've passed the first 10 years and you still want to become a member, we have an open enrollment period as well. So just some general statistics. The current bank has almost 3,000 hours in it. The average approvals per year is just over 2. And this is over the last 11 years. I looked back at the data that's been kept over the last 11 years. And the total approved hours donated is 1,837, which is about 4 weeks per approval for each employee. And our average employee wage is $33 an hour, so that's about $5,000 per employee, which really is helpful getting them through a temporary situation. So the main amendments come under Section 2. And it's amending just the title throughout the policy, from sick leave council to sick leave committee. It's a little confusing. And it adds the HR director into the policy to help bring forward amendments to council. Right now it just talks about the council amending it, and there's no person to bring that forward. And I've facilitated the committee for many years, so it's really just kind of our current process, but spelling that out. And then removing the term limits. The committee really only meets on an as-needed basis, which you saw in the previous slide that we have a couple approvals per year. So they're really not meeting much more often than that. So to have term limits on such a limited committee, I don't think it's necessary. And then it just better defines how those members are selected, and I'll go into that. So currently the policy shows that there are 6 members, 2 which are administrators, and there's really no clear direction on what that even means. Is that a department head? Is that our city administrator? And there's no clear direction even who assigns those administrators. And then there's an employee from each bargaining unit, which it is clearly defined that the president selects that, so that's not a problem. And then we have 1 council member, and that is appointed by city council, so that's clear as well. So the proposed changes basically just shows exactly who would appoint those individuals, especially the administrators, and just the other ones are pretty clear. But we have always tried to have a department head on that committee, and our city administrator has selected that person. And so for that other administrator role, there is one group that's not represented from an employee group, and that would either be an exempt employee or an unrepresented employee. So if we have one of those individuals on there, we really have someone represented from all of our employee groups. And then it just clearly spells out that the city administrator would appoint those 2 people to the committee, and then still the association presidents, and then the council members still from city council. So the other amendment under this section is the maximum capacity. So right now, the language caps the membership capacity, which I don't think is necessary that we do that. And if we delete that language, the purpose of the benefit is to provide it to any employee that wants to be a member. If we cap it to people from this point forward and only open it up as we have an opening, there are a lot of people that could really utilize the benefit that there's just really no reason to cap it. It should be accessible for everybody. And then under the special assessment, That language is specifically speaking to if the hours ever got really low, and that's part of if you cap it, you're capping your hours too. And so if the hours got really low, we could go back to the members that are allowed to be in it and say, we would like you to donate another hour, and if they, or another day, because it's an 8-hour donation. And then if they say, no, we don't want to, then they get dropped from the bank. So I feel like it would be better not to cap the people that can be in it, and then not worry about the special assessment piece of it, and just deal with the amount of hours we have in the bank. And we've never had a problem doing that. And then under section 11, it just adds a new section that deals with the confidentiality of the information that goes to the bank. Sorry, I don't know why it's doing that. Just under HIPAA, we are dealing with some medical information, but the committee members really need to see it to make a good decision. And then it just clearly states that the documentation will stay in the employee's medical file that is kept in HR. So the amendments have been reviewed and approved by the Sick Leave Bank Committee. The amendments will allow HR to have a better policy to help employees with, and it provides a little more clarity for the committee members as well. And then it gives us a better flow of where the information will be kept. Happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, no, I think you've done a good job on these revisions. So many of our employees, unfortunately, sometimes end up in crisis, and we certainly need them to have access to the sick bank. And I agree with all of your amendments. So, Madam Chair, I would make a motion to recommend that council approve the sick leave bank policy amendments.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passes. And just one comment, Melissa, I really appreciate the summary of changes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we've seen that frequently come through with different policy and updates and changes, and I think Randy has a big role in that, and it's a great reference point, so thank you.
Perfect. You're welcome.
Madam Chair, on item number 3, I do have a request from some council that be, we'd certainly listen to the presentation, but they would also like to have it removed from the consent agenda, make sure it's on our regular agenda.
Okay, thank you. And that brings us to item number 3, and this is a request for approval of the professional services agreement with AutoCast, I think that's right, LLC for the creation and hosting of an audio guide mobile app. And with us today, we have our city accountant, Stephanie Padilla, and she is our Arts Commission liaison.
Good afternoon. So yes, I come today based from the Arts Commission, and we met and actually had a Zoom meeting with the gentleman who owns the company AutoCast, and he explained, kind of the setup process and how it was going to work. So it's a lot of work on our end, but with our group trying to get it set up. The cost of the initial setup is going to be $5,000. And that will cover setting up 90 points of interest, so 90 art pieces. And it's an app on your phone that you can download and then just request where you would like to see the art. And wherever he has set up the city or the artwork, it comes up on your phone and you're able to click through them and get directions. And you can hear an audio on pieces, information about the art, or you can read about the art, and it will give you you can walk to the artwork. He'll tell you how to get there and see it. So the Hood River in Oregon has also used this, and we have an artist who has art pieces here at the city who recommended it and said it's actually pretty fabulous, and they enjoy it there at Hood River. So after the $5,000, there's an annual fee that we have to pay just to keep it updated, because the Arts Commission does trade out some of the arts currents, and so we'll have to get those updated, and that fee is going to be $2,520 a year. And then if we want to take out a piece of art because something, we remove the art or we have to add throughout before the year contract, then there's another fee there that's $56. And he really is very helpful in the process. He's very hands-on. He just doesn't have the arts information. So we will most likely start with the plaque information that's on each art piece, and then maybe even have to reach out to some of our artists to get the exact information and detail that they would like the public to know mostly about their artwork.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Stephanie, and I'll just add that this is a great way to really highlight our community's art collection and add accessibility to visitors as well as our community members where, some individuals do not know where to find our art easily. And this allows them to look it up and hear the details behind the piece that will continue to evolve as we build out this app, so.
And if we do intercontract with them, we plan on having the information out on our website so that people visiting will be able to go, oh, they do have this, and be able to research it. We will have it noted at some of the art pieces, like for more information, you can download this app and get to hear the pieces of art information.
Thank you.
Madam Chair? Stephanie, off the top of your head, do you know how many pieces of art we have throughout the city?
We have a total of 149, but that also includes the utility wrapped boxes.
I see. Okay.
So this number of the 90 points of interest will capture most of our art because we don't have all our art current pieces filled.
I see. Okay. Well, I'm going to make a motion to support this to go forward to council so council can ask you some more questions about it. It sounds like a great opportunity to use technology, but we need to honor all of council's ability to ask questions. So, Madam Chair, with that, I'll make a motion to recommend that council approve a professional services agreement with AutoCost LLC for the creation and hosting of the Coeur d'Alene Arts Commission audio guide mobile app.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
And that being our third and final item, this meeting is adjourned.